Campaign 2010. I think you're expecting to have a good time tonight. Make it of value as well. As part of NOCO 5's commitment to Northern Colorado, it's our duty to provide you with information to allow you to make the choice of who will represent you in government. This hour will focus on Colorado's 4th Congressional District. In a moment, opening remarks from all of the candidates, then each candidate will have a chance to respond to questions from our panel. Then in the second half of the hour, we're going to have some fun. We're going to relax the rules a little bit. And we're going to have the panel direct questions at individual candidates. Then closing remarks. First, some quick information about the people who will be asking questions this evening. First up, Mr. Tom Livingston. Tom, a pleasure to work with you. Thank you for being here tonight. Tom is the senior reporter with Northern Colorado 5. Next, Dawn Griffin. Welcome, Dawn. Dawn is the owner and operator of On Time Mailing Services, a small business in Loveland that has been operating for 15 years. Next up, Matthew Dunsmore. Matthew, thank you for your time this evening. Matthew Dunsmore graduated from the University of Northern Colorado in May of this year with a degree in marketing. Finally, Christine Kaplan. Christine is the managing editor of the Loveland Reporter Herald. Christine has been with the Reporter Herald for more than 15 years. To our audience here at the Fountains of Loveland Event Center, a couple of requests. Please hold your applause until the end of the hour. We're going to try and cover a lot of ground this evening. Important issues that face us here in Northern Colorado, important issues that face the United States of America. And we want to devote as much time as possible to those issues, to the questions, and to the answers. If all goes as planned, and we have every reason to believe it will, there's going to be plenty of time to involve you in this process at the end. We have some specific questions for you, the audience, tonight. Also, we've asked you to please turn your cell phones off. Those would be interruptions that would cost us time as well. We're going to start with opening remarks. The candidates drew numbers to establish the order of their opening remarks just a few minutes ago. We've asked the candidates to hold their opening remarks to 2 minutes or less. There are timers in the front row that are going to give the candidates time cues. First, with opening remarks this evening is Ken Waskowitz. Mr. Waskowitz.
My name is Ken Waskowitz, and I am the only independent candidate in this race. I have made it this far by petitioning my way onto the ballot, not accepting a dime from anyone, and providing solutions to the problems our country faces. I am not a puppet to the GOP, the DNC, or the ACP. I am the only candidate who's in a position to represent you. For the past 10 months, I have been creating videos that contain solutions to our nation's biggest problems. And I understand that the elite media and the two major parties don't think I'm newsworthy, and rather I just go away. But in the hearts and souls of the average Americans, I am newsworthy. I am giving you something that doesn't evoke the same feelings as in every other election. A feeling of, I will finally be represented in Washington. I am not a millionaire or a lawyer, and I don't have a political science degree. But what I do have is common sense and morals, which is what's missing in today's leadership. Fighting an uphill battle as an independent is not going to stop me from being the voice of unheard Americans, who finally have someone who represents them. I am strong enough to represent the people of Colorado. Help me show Washington that the people still run this country, not lawyers, not career politicians. Learn more about me and my solutions at kenwasco.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Waskowitz. Next up, with a 2-minute opening statement, Representative.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. You know, I wasn't your typical congresswoman when I was elected in 2008. I had spent most of my adult life running 2 businesses and raising 3 small children. I've owned 2 businesses. One was a coffee and ice cream shop in Fort Collins. The other was a small high-tech firm that my husband and I started. So I understand the challenges of small business, of meeting a payroll, of not taking a salary when you have to pay your employees and all of your bills, of finding affordable health insurance for your employees. business isn't red or blue. You're either in the red or you're in the black. And in order to be successful, you need to be able to work with everyone. You know, I know that I have angered people on the left and on the right with some of my votes, but I will tell you what I tell the leadership of my own party. I don't represent a political ideology. I represent the people of the 4th Congressional District. If you want a pure partisan, there are 3 other people in this race. But if you want a small business owner, someone who has won the Chamber of Commerce Spirit of Enterprise Award and the Farmers Union Award, someone who believes that investment in renewable energy and education is a good idea, someone who has won the endorsements of the NRA, of the Veterans of Foreign War PAC, and the Alliance of Older Americans, someone who can stand up to her own party regarding government spending, then I'm your woman. I'm one of 7 children, and my parents instilled in us the value of hard work, integrity, personal responsibility, and patience. It is our children who will suffer if we ignore the values that my parents took so seriously. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Next up, with a 2-minute opening statement, Doug Aiden.
To start out with, I haven't been able to talk to each one of you, and I just want to give you an idea of who I am. My name is Doug Aiden, and I grew up on a small acreage outside of Brighton, Colorado. Due to my passion in renewable energy, I went to Colorado State University to study engineering. My father worked for Frontier Airlines at that time and became concerned about his future employment. So he purchased a small business, and I left school to help him operate it. A few months later, his foresight proved correct as the airline went out of business. I returned to CSU with a newfound love, and that was business. I've worked as an accountant and a controller in several different companies, and I now operate my own manufacturing company. Yes, I manufacture U.S. products based in Fort Lupton, Colorado. My wife, Terry, and I started our relationship in college. We've had 6 children. We lost our only daughter to brain cancer about 10 years ago. We currently live on a small acreage outside of Hudson, where we have cattle, goats, chickens, etc. I see these various life experiences as great assets, and I ask for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Aiden. Next up, Corey Gardner.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank the organizers of tonight's event, NOCO 5. Thank you very much for putting this together. Thank you to the 3 of you who are here tonight to share with the voters their vision for a greater and stronger America. My name is Corey Gardner, and I don't know about you, but I think it's time that we get this economy moving again, that we start creating jobs and opportunity. I grew up in a little town called Yuma, Colorado on the Eastern Plains. In fact, I think there's more people in this room than my high school totally combined, so there's quite a few people here. But in Yuma, Colorado, I grew up in the family business. Learned what it was like to balance the checkbook, to make payroll, to run a business in the face of increasing regulations from Denver, Colorado, and Washington, D.C. I learned a lot about farming and ranching and what it takes to make their small businesses work. The fact that they have to live under higher taxes, higher regulations, more spending, increasing debt, and that this nation as a whole now faces nearly $14 trillion in debt, $1.4 trillion deficits, a government that has decided it understands how to run our lives, our businesses, and our families far better than any one of us. But we can't run this campaign simply by saying what's wrong with this country. We will win this campaign. We will win this country's future by running on solutions and ideas. And that's why I've developed the 2010 plan. Ideas to balance the budget, to get this economy running again. I'm running for Congress because we have got to cut spending. We've got to end the wasteful disregard of the taxpayer dollar, get government out of the way, and let America work to move our economy, to create jobs, small business savings accounts that will allow people to invest in hiring new people, in greater opportunity. We have a great country, the greatest on the face of this earth. And I look forward over the next 14 days to joining with you as we work together to revitalize the greatness of this nation so that we can stand up and know that better opportunities lie ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner. Our first question and answer segment. Candidates have been asked to limit their answers to 90 seconds or less. candidates are in alphabetical order from left to right, and they will answer from left to right sequentially. Our first question is from Tom Livingston. The first answer from Mr. Aiden. Tom.
Thank you very much, Keith, and good evening to all the candidates. Pleasure to see you. My first question is, what is the top priority in the 4th Congressional District that you will bring to Washington to address?
Well, obviously, the number one priority, the number one concern that I hear from people is jobs. I mean, jobs is what we need in this district as well as all the rest of the country. The economy is something that really needs to be dealt with. And with my business background and experience in accounting, dealing with the fiscal woes of this country is something I feel I'm real qualified to do. And I expect that we'll have that opportunity here in the near future.
Thank you, Mr. Aiden. Mr. Gardner.
Thank you, Keith. And I will take the interest of the people of the 4th Congressional Districts with me to Washington to make sure that we are standing up for our first principles of limited government, fiscal responsibility, and that when we send somebody to Washington, D.C., we're sending them there to represent the people of Larimer County, the people of the 4th Congressional District, and the Constitution of this great country. We have got to get this economy moving forward again. And we cannot do it when Washington, D.C. and the bureaucrats within the Beltway continue to drive our decisions for us. Our nation is facing debt of incredible proportions. Every single one of us in this room owes over $40,000. I will take solutions and ideas to our nation's capital and make sure that the voice of the people is represented, not the voice of the special interests or the lobbyists. Because I believe the answers come from each and every one of us in this room, not from somebody in Washington, D.C. The people in this room represent the best in the future of this country. My daughter's in this room. There are other children in this room. And we have got to make sure that they are continue to be blessed with the same opportunities that each and every single one of us has been blessed with.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner. Ms. Martin.
Absolutely, it has to be jobs. I ran as a small business owner when I ran in 2008, talking about the importance of creating good-paying jobs here in this country. Small businesses like the one that my husband and I owned, like the small coffee shop, create 99% of the jobs in this country. We have to get credit flowing to our small community banks so that our small businesses can get moving again, can grow and expand. And that is what I was focused on 2 years ago. That's what I'm focused on again. This just a couple of months ago, we passed the Small Business Credit and Job Lending Act, which will allow more small businesses to get access to capital through our community banks. You know, I owned a small, again, coffee and ice cream shop, and most of my employees were CSU graduates. And so I have a real interest in making sure that there are good-paying jobs available for our graduates when they get out of college or high school.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Mr. Waskowitz.
I agree with a lot that Corey said, but I'm an independent, and I know how you have to separate yourself from these political action committees and people who donate money from you. So, and I don't have a 2010 plan. I have a 2020 plan, and a 2030 plan, and a 2040 and 2050. I have a solution called the Colorado Energy Revolution. And that, as I show in my videos, step by step on how to accomplish goals or jobs for everybody. Okay, this isn't just a generality that I throw out. It's specifics. Okay, and it involves Colorado and having Colorado lead the way in this.
Thank you, Mr. Waskowitz. Our next question is from Dawn Griffin, with the first answer from Mr. Gardner. Ms. Griffin.
It's my first time doing this, so I'm sorry.
Ms. Griffin, please hold the microphone.
I was very impressed recently owning a mailing service that the post office came for the 4th year in a row and said, we want more money. We want 2 cents more across the board, more increase one out of the pockets of hardworking Americans and the business owners that need that means to market. The post